Hey, welcome. I'm Kath Nolan, once high-performing perfectionist good girl turned goddess of balance, kicking even bigger goals. This is the podcast where we make balance doable for busy, overstretched working women, embracing your voice, honoring your feminine power, and protecting your energy. This allows you to truly step into greatness for the sake of all you hold dear. This is balance, and I am so glad you are here claiming balance for yourself. Dal, what if your greatest leadership strengths were the very things that you've been taught to hide? You know, for decades, leadership has been boxed into these masculine traits like authority and decisiveness, but the tides, they're so shifting. We've passed the point of the tide shifting and the world is calling for something different. These feminine traits of yours, they're not weaknesses, they're superpowers. Superpowers. They are superpowers. I was at a funeral earlier today for a very dear family friend, my dad's best friend. His kids and I are like cousins. His kids, my brother, are like cousins, more like cousins than cousins maybe. At the end of the sermon, the pastor told this little, it was kind of a funny little story that really, I think, spoke to kind of the older generations in the room about, wives. He started by saying, for any women here who are partnered women here, and he was talking about go easy on your blokes just for a few seconds, and then then pull them into line because we all know that you know best. Anyway, I was kind of listening to this. He lost me, right? He lost me because I was kind of half listening to this and really just thinking about my dad and, Peter and the family and all those things. So he lost me a little bit, but it definitely had me stewing over feminine traits, right? So I am a fierce advocate for playing to your strengths. And I think that as women, we play to our physical strengths. Yeah? So you've probably got the goss. You know exactly which of your features are your best highlight. If someone said to you, what's your favorite feature? Maybe you're going to say, I love my legs. I love, whatever it is about you that you love. We know what our physical strengths are, the things that we like about ourselves physically. So maybe it's YouTube that showed you, maybe it was Cosmo or Dolly magazine that showed you how. But who is showing you how to play to your strengths at work? Especially feminine traits that a lot of us have been conditioned to downplay. So we are societally conditioned to try to fit in. So this beautiful pastor, in the moment, as I say, I'll admit that I was half listening, half in my own thoughts about Peter and his boys, thinking about how to support my strong dad, and yet this pastor planted a seed that has been gnawing at me all day. So today I want to share a few ideas for some feminine traits that you know that you have and could be taking a lot more advantage of. I want to share 3 of them. Okay. First one, intuition. These are 3 vital feminine leadership traits. Intuition. Intuition is very simply strategic insight. Now, intuition is intuition. It's not like it's a gendered skill in that only women use it well, yeah? Even so, feminine intuition can get a bad rap. It's almost considered a woo-woo thing. It's like it's written off as witchy. I think I've said this to you before, but in the Dark Ages, when women hit menopause, they were considered witches automatically. So intuition, I think that feminine intuition can kind of sometimes still sit in that category of woo-woo and lacking in gravitas. But actually, intuition is very simply a rapid subconscious synthesis of experience and data. That's it. High-profile leaders have relied on gut instinct to make pivotal decisions throughout our living history. Here's an example. Ready? Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, he was renowned for his intuitive approach to product development. He often relied on his gut feelings to anticipate customer needs. It led to groundbreaking products like the iPhone and the iPad. He believed that intuition empowered him to envisage products that consumers didn't even know that they needed. This approach not only revolutionized the tech industry, but it also demonstrated how intuitive insights could drive innovation and market success. So we know that there's this great study out of Yale that shows that 85% of CEOs, that's 85% of CEOs, utilize intuition when making business decisions. Intuition is significant in effective leadership. The US Sun found that 77% of women believe that they possess a sixth sense or strong intuition, and their gut feelings are predominantly that their gut feelings are correct 68% of the time. Okay, so I want you to get your intuition. I want to get to your intuition in a sec. I want to work on your intuition in a sec. But first, let's unpack some context. What is intuition? What is it? Intuition is, and I apologize, I don't know if you know, I found out last year that my throat is not as strong as it was. I did some damage to my vocal cords, and so now, yes, they can get a little bit scratchy real quick. Let me have some water. Okay. So, intuition is often described as the ability to understand or know something without conscious reasoning. Psychologically, it's considered a process where the brain quickly sifts through past experiences and accumulated knowledge to arrive at a conclusion or insights. This fast processing, it allows you to make decisions or judgments quickly, often without any explicit, conscious, analytical thought, yeah? So while men and women both possess intuitive capabilities, societal and cultural factors can influence how much we trust our intuition and how much we act upon our intuition. Okay, so just to clarify, it is intuition's complex interplay, it is unconscious pattern recognition, it's emotional responses and experiential learning, yeah? So it's a vital component of decision making, vital component. So when you understand what's at play here, intuition can really empower you to harness this innate ability more effectively, this innate ability, these innate feminine leadership abilities to make more informed and holistic decision making, both personally and professionally. Super powerful. So what about you? When has your intuition nudged you in the right direction? When has it worked well for you? When has it worked well? Did you ignore it? When have you ignored your intuition and what happened? Why did you ignore your intuition? This is possibly the bigger, more important question. Why did you intuition? Why did you intuition? Why did you ignore your intuition? And the last one, how can you trust it some more? How can you better trust your intuition? Alrighty, here's number 2, empathy. Let's unpack empathy as a leadership multiplier, okay? So empathy is definitely no longer just a nice to have. Empathy is a critical baseline tool for creating trust, engagement, and collaboration. We know that teams thrive when the team's leaders genuinely connect with their people, and that leads to high morale and productivity. So do you know of Satya Nadella? Yeah? So Satya Nadella, when he became CEO of Microsoft in 2014, the company was known for its culture of aggressive and competitiveness, yeah? It was left over from its earlier days. But Nadella recognized that this culture was outdated. It was not going to attract innovation. It wasn't going to drive innovation. It certainly was not going to attract top talent. So he was the one to introduce Carol Dweck's concept of growth mindset, yeah? So this meant encouraging employees to embrace curiosity and continuous learning, collaboration, instead of operating from a fixed mindset of proving oneself right. I don't know if that echoes for you with your current work environment, this concept of proving yourself right. So one of Nadella's most impactful changes was fostering empathy within the company. He openly shared personal stories, including his experiences as a father of a son with cerebral palsy, to highlight the importance of understanding and compassion. This shift, you could see it in Microsoft's internal dynamics as well as their external strategies. They move from focusing on market dominance to collaborating more broadly with competitors and with partners. So here's what happened. Under his leadership, Microsoft revamped its product offerings so that they embraced a bunch of things, inventing new tools, reinventing tools. Their employee satisfaction rose significantly, with Microsoft consistently ranking among the best workplaces. And the third thing is their company value surged, their market value surged from 300 billion to over 2 trillion. 300 billion to over 2 trillion, making it one of the most valuable companies in the world. So Nadella showed that empathy, he showed how empathy, which is traditionally a soft skill, can drive hard results, transforming not just culture, but also innovation and financial performance. Okay, so I believe that grit is the feminine powerhouse. It complements intuition and empathy. It embodies resilience and determination. Grit is that je ne sais quoi that is, it's the lioness instinct. It's determination and resilience. Grit does not mean grinding endlessly, but actually staying focused and adaptable in the face of challenges. I love the story of Indra Nooyi, the former CEO of PepsiCo, and her journey exemplifies grit. So I want to share that with you. So, because I really want you to see that these leadership traits, these leadership qualities that I know that you have these traits. These are traits that I'd love for you to look at the examples. So take on board these stories, these examples of others who've gone before you and really led with these specific leadership traits, so that you can have a look at, or I guess be encouraged to have a look at where those traits show up for you and tease them out, make them bigger, use them in more complex ways so that these traits get stronger and stronger for you, that you trust them more and more. Okay, so Indra Nooyi. Indra was facing numerous challenges. She led the company with resilience and determination. She implemented strategic initiatives that resulted in significant growth, yeah? So her unwavering commitment to her vision, despite objectives, shows how essential grit is for sustained leadership success. I don't think anybody would argue that we don't need, no one would argue that we do need grit, yeah, as a leadership. Okay, so the challenge, let's unpack the challenges that she faced. She was an immigrant from India and one of the few women in senior leadership in the US. She often faced biases and stereotypes. She had to work harder to prove her capabilities in this male-dominated corporate world. Don't know if it sounds familiar to you. Second one, reinventing the business, reinventing PepsiCo. So when she became CEO in 2006, PepsiCo was heavily reliant on junk food and sugary beverages, but she recognized that the consumers' demand was growing for healthier options, and she made the bold decision to shift PepsiCo away from that sugary focus to a more sustainable and health-conscious focus. So, as I'm sure you're aware and would anticipate, this was met with huge skepticism from investors and from within the company. Next one, balance profit and purpose. So her initiative, performance with purpose, aimed to balance profit making with societal responsibility. Yeah, this included promoting healthier products, reinventing environmental impact, and improving workplace diversity. Critics questioned vehemently whether these initiatives would dilute shareholder value. The next one for her was work-life balance. So she has been really candid about managing the struggles of her demanding career alongside her personal life. She's been raising 2 daughters. She often worked 18-hour days and faced with guilt and scrutiny for her choices, especially as a woman in a high-profile role. So despite all this, she successfully restructured the business. She successfully restructured PepsiCo, steering the company toward healthier offerings and also ensuring continued growth. In fact, the company's revenue grew by 80% and became a leader in sustainable initiatives. She also championed workplace diversity and inclusivity, paving the way for more women to rise to leadership roles, and particularly minorities. So I think that her journey truly exemplifies how grit and resilience can overcome resistance and create meaningful long-term change. She stuck to her vision. She stuck to her vision despite criticism and challenges. I think it is a beautiful reminder. It's a beautiful beacon of the feminine leadership traits in action. I think that, look, research shows consistently that empathy is a top competence for good leadership. So we know that leaders who combine empathy with grit tend to achieve higher performance, yeah? You should definitely be trusting yours. You should definitely be trusting your grit. So we know that these traits are transformative. They are success drivers. So why are these traits so often overlooked, undervalued, and why do women especially silence their own? I think that social conditioning, non-diverse workplaces that they can make you perceive your intuition as woo-woo, yeah? Or maybe you've experienced that in the past, and although you don't experience that now, it's formed part of your conditioning about what's acceptable and what will get you ahead. Many workplaces certainly still have this cultural bias, and so these skills are still framed as soft or secondary, but it is definitely shifting. And Goddess, I am all about that balance. Empathy in your grit, it's not about rejecting strength. It's actually about integrating all of these aspects of yourself, yeah? These are powerful leadership traits. They are not exclusively feminine, but they're definitely a trick that you have up your sleeve that you might not be currently tapping into. And I so want you to tap in. So today's challenge, I want you to tap into one feminine edge trait, to take one small step to activate your feminine edge in leadership. Here's some examples. Some options, if you like a multiple choice. You can take all the answers. You're allowed to take all of the above. Let's start with the first one, intuition. Yeah. So for intuition, before making a decision today, I want you to take a moment to reflect what feels right to you. If you already have an answer in your gut, trust it. If you already have an answer in your gut, trust it. Yeah. So that's for intuition. For empathy, one way to step into your feminine edge trait, if it's empathy. In your next interaction, I want you to ask one open-ended question to truly understand the other person's perspective, even if you think you already know it, yeah? I want you to ask one question that's going to deepen your understanding of their perspective, and I want you to listen without preparing your response. So important. I'm going to say it again. I want you to ask a question that will deepen your understanding, and I want you to listen without preparing your response. Okay, this is true listening. And if the option that you choose, if the trait that you're choosing is grit, then I want you to identify one area where you have been wavering, and I want you to recommit. I want you to say to yourself, I can handle this. I will figure it out. I find that one especially just so exciting because it is transformative in your energy. These others transform how you connect with people, right? Like intuition and empathy, they transform how you connect with people. And grit just does that and then some. It's got this, it's almost like it's a magic potion, you know? It's an energizer. It is a transformative superpower. So what I'd love you to do is to jot down your experience on a post-it note. I want you to put it somewhere that you will see it. I want a visual reminder for you to tap into your feminine traits, to tap into these beautiful feminine strengths that you have. How will you do it? How are you going to, what will your visual reminder be? For some people, it might be really simple, like taking your watch, take it off your regular hand and put it onto your other hand. Because each time you see that throughout the day, if you're used to wearing your watch, so I wear my watch on my right hand because my dad always wears his watch on his right hand. I actually don't even remember why my dad wears watch. In fact, I remember asking him when I was a kid, why do you wear your watch on your right hand? And he was like, well, because I'm writing that and I have to tip my wrist and the time's right there. Okay, so I wear my watch on my right hand because my dad does. It happens to also be my grandfather's watch on my mum's side. But that's a story for another day, maybe, or probably not even a story at all. So the point is, if I put my watch on my left hand, it's going to feel odd to me. It's going to feel weird to me, yeah? And so each time throughout the day, I kind of go, oh, that feels a bit weird. I go, oh, that's right. What is it that I'm leaning into? What are the actions that I'm taking to lean into my feminine traits? And then I'll remember, okay, the one that I'm tackling today is grit. So what was the question? Remember, I can handle this. I will figure it out. What is the area that I've been wavering on that I can recommit to? And saying to myself, I can handle this. I will figure it out. I am equipped to figure this out. I've got it. Okay. Okay, so your intuition, your empathy, your intuition, your empathy, and your grit. These are not just traits. They are the keys to balanced, authentic leadership. You don't have to hide them. In fact, the world is better when you lead with them. I think, Goddess, if you are ready to fully step into this balanced, magnetic way of leading, it's time for us to chat. Let's chat. My group coach program might be exactly what you need to make you, to help you to make your next step your boldest, most aligned career play to date. I will absolutely help you to bring your feminine edge into every room that you walk into. I cannot wait to work with you on this. If you have loved what you've heard today, please put it in action. Take action on these little tidbits of, action. Please, make them happen. Have a play with them. Put them into play. And then reach out and let me know how you go. I cannot wait to hear. Talk soon. I believe that women do help other women. I hope that this episode has empowered you to question your willingness to go last. I hope that you will embrace balance, and I'm also hoping that you will help me to help other women to do the same. So how can you help? Show your support for the work. Subscribe and review the podcast here where you're listening. Follow the Goddess of Balance on Instagram to catch some cheeky behind the scenes and extras. Connect with me on LinkedIn and share the posts with your network. That would be sensational. If you have enjoyed this program, this episode, you will no doubt love my group coaching program. You got to find all the links to these in the little written blurb for this episode. Thank you, my friend, for normalizing balance with me. We are raising performance and reputations, wellness and equality. Together, we're creating positive change for working women, starting with you. Sincerely, I thank you for being part of the movement.